Your superintendent. Yeah, go ask him. No, Bill. Don't do it. You should ask him.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to our monthly board meeting, and if you will stand with me, we will do the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thanks, everybody. And we'll move to our first item tonight, which is our recognitions.
All right, so our recognition continues to grow each month as it should. Every time that we come back together, we have a new thing that we'd like to celebrate and recognize. I actually would like to have Ms. Parrish talk about this Reed Bowl championship that her students were recognized with, just to give us all a little bit more context and celebrate this awesome achievement of her class and her students.
Oh, cool. Oh, I got mad at me. Yeah, I spoke too soon. Okay. Good evening, everyone. So the Reed Bowl was something that I found on TikTok. Another educator had shared it, and it's been going on for a few years, but it got started by a Super Bowl champion, Malcolm Mitchell. I believe he played for the Patriots, but now he has since retired, and his mission is literacy. So he has something called the Reed Bowl competition. It goes from lower primary elementary all the way to high school. And all you do is sign up. It's completely free. And for 4 weeks, you log in, your students log in, all the hours that they spent reading. It can be reading a sign, it can be reading a billboard, or their favorite book, or our favorite, iReady reading lessons that we love. And so all of that gets added together, and for us, we entered into the elementary conference, which was 3rd, 4th, and 5th, and there were thousands of schools that were in this competition, in this conference, and we won first place. We logged the most reading minutes of any school that signed up. And so we actually got to have Malcolm Mitchell's book. So he wrote his own children's book. Every student in my homeroom got a free signed copy. And he will actually be Zoom calling us next Wednesday at 8 o'clock. And he'll just get to chat with us and celebrate us and all of that.
Could we have those students that are in attendance tonight that were part of that come up on the stage just for a photo with Ms. Parrish?
There you go, guys.
Pack in as much as you all can. That'd be great.
Squeeze in.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Woo!
And we have our class president and vice president for our homeroom. They wrote a little something for us about the Reed Bowl.
Me and my vice president are proud to be recognized by you all. With the help and encouragement, we wouldn't be here. Thankfully, we did, thanks to Ms. Parrish.
Okay, congrats again, and again, thank you, Ms. Parrish, for all of your efforts and setting that up and making sure that that happened. We'll move on to our community recognition. So we're adding an anchor of excellence because I think it's important to always understand and recognize those anchors that help keep us grounded. And the purpose of this was to be something that's just a little token of appreciation to show how much these gestures mean and the work that goes on behind the scenes. So I can't take credit for this one. This was Mr. Dollins, and this was such a good email and write-up that he gave for this family that we're going to recognize that I'm just going to read it verbatim. Okay. While many parents contributed their time and energy throughout the year, we would like to especially highlight the leadership and dedication of the Hembry and Park families. Jared and Amanda Hembry, along with Steve and Christina Park, took on significant leadership roles within the Booster Club and were instrumental in supporting our boys basketball program. Their efforts played a vital role in raising funds that directly supported equipment purchases, team gear, pregame meals, banquets, and other essential program needs. Their contributions included, but were not limited to, organizing the Honda Car Wash fundraiser in partnership with Soak City Car Wash, helping coordinate both the Holiday Classic and Bill Smallwood Classic, overseeing and enhancing the selection of items available at the concession stand, and organizing a memorable senior night. Thanks to their work, each Berea Community Boys Basketball senior received a gift basket valued at over $150 in donated gift cards, followed by a senior night banquet attended by players, coaches, and families. They also concluded the season by organizing a first-class awards banquet at Rustic Ridge, catered by Texas Roadhouse. What stands out just as much as their effort is their humility. When thanked, they consistently responded with, "We do it all for the kids." Their commitment truly reflects the work ethic, pride, and selflessness we strive to instill in our student athletes. If we could have Jared and Amanda Hembry and Steve and Christina Park please come to the stage.
Perfect. Amazing. Thank you all so much. Thank you.
Next, we have our classified member, Linda Dean. She consistently demonstrates an exceptional level of dedication, compassion, and professionalism that goes far beyond what is expected in her role. Linda is deeply committed to the well-being of our students and their families. Linda is deeply committed to the well-being of our students and families, so much so that an example of her dedication is her willingness to take home our class pet over school breaks, ensuring it is well cared for and providing continuity for the children when they return. This small but meaningful act reflects her nurturing nature and sense of responsibility. Is Miss Dean here? Okay, either way, let's hear from Miss Dean. Our next classified is here for his second to last board meeting is Mr. Daniel Montoya. So go ahead and come up, Daniel, and I'll awkwardly read some things while you stand up and receive some praise. So Daniel loves the spotlight and loves the attention, so much so that he is involved with pretty much everything that happens behind the scenes. He is our tech wizard, our tech guru, and somebody that is here all the time. I don't know that he's missed a day of work yet. I think he's one of the few that does have perfect attendance. He's somebody that leads with a sense of humor and also humility. He understands what it means to be a selfless, dedicated person to the craft and the profession. He goes out of his way to instill leadership capabilities into his students and works with them to teach them as much as possible so that they understand not only how to be a good digital citizen, but how to help contribute to our school community. He's actively involved with working with helping new employees and making sure that they're mentored and provided with opportunities to be successful. And we're sorely going to miss Daniel. We wish him well at his new promotion at Berea College, but we are definitely going to miss him and wanted to make sure that he had at least some semblance of that appreciation through this. So let's hear it for Daniel Montoya. Daniel also is the one that we worked collaboratively to design this print, and then he put it together and spliced it and printed it in our 3D printer. Okay, next up is somebody that works so hard to make sure that our office really runs smoothly and wears so many hats as a chief academic officer is Tim Moulton. That role is one that maybe some people don't realize all of the things that go into what that title represents and what it means. But from all of the state reporting to the federal reporting to making sure that the testing sessions are up and running to being our site-based coordinator and training our site-based, most recently really worked to train the site-based committee on how to effectively choose the next principal for the elementary school. Spent a ton of time working on that, and I truly commend him for his efforts. He's somebody that I can depend upon to do all of the things that are necessary to really move us forward. We have shared vision, shared mission, and I just appreciate all the experience that he brings to the table, and he works so diligently to make sure that we're in compliance and doing all the right things. So Tim Moulton, if you could come up. All right, the nominator for our last award said, Joseph Caudle is a highly quality collaborator and resource teacher. Joseph has built exceptional relationships with both students and his colleagues. The sharpest dressed in the building, he maintains an air of professionalism and quality unsurpassed by many of his peers. From the growth of his caseload students to co-coordinating fall homecoming, he's become a pillar of the building in a short amount of time. Joseph Caudle. And that is it for our recognitions.
Next item up is in the communications, our board report and the superintendent report.
Yeah, the mics definitely are hot tonight, for sure. All right, so outside of spring break, this was another busy month from a superintendent's seat, is that that LFI, the Education Law and Finance seminar took place, and there's just so many things that are going on with the legislature this time around that's going to impact from the school accountability system, which is going to involve chronic absenteeism and some adjustments to maybe on-demand writing. Final shape is taking form, but we should have a really good idea by our next board meeting to have kind of a legislative breakdown of what that's going to look for our district. It was a great conference to be able to receive the policy updates and kind of talking about, okay, we know that chronic absenteeism is going to be a forefront focus, so what are the things that we can do to impact that, and what is the indirect cost? We know how it's impacting our ADA and the funding model, but what are the things that we can do behind the scenes to work through that? Really great opportunity for us to just collaborate with our other members of the cohort to receive our final in-person training. So as I move through my orientation process, I'm really kind of finishing up the in-person pieces. We did work with the biggest news is that we did work with the Elementary Site-Based Council to select our next principal. She couldn't be here tonight because she currently is an assistant principal at Estill County High School, and she is in New York on a field trip with high schoolers. Her name is Stacy Reynolds. We did put a bio out on social media and send out to families. We are incredibly fortunate for an applicant of her quality to have put herself into the ring there. In the Site-Based Council, they screened 13 applicants and 4 finalists and went through the interview process, and she stood out as the person that was best fit for the job. So we were very excited for her. And we will do a formal introduction of her at our next board meeting. Everybody was very excited this past week to take part in a formal training from Red Book Ron, who is affectionately known as Red Book Ron. His name is Ron Flannery. He helped write Red Book for the state, and so if you're going to be in compliance with Red Book and your finance and accounting procedures, then who better to train you than the person that helped write it? I think he definitely scared a lot of people with some of the things that they may have not been doing correctly, but now we all understand how to do things within the scope of what we should be doing. So that was a very beneficial training. And then all of the celebrations with the KSA achievements that the 2 principals have put on were great. Those were an awesome opportunity for us to show showcase the work that the kids put in last school year as we get ready to put that same effort in for this school year.
Thank you for that report. Seeing no questions, we'll move on to the financial report.
All right, good evening. I'll keep this brief because I'm not going to be brief next month. I'm just going to warn you all. It's next month's the working budget or the tentative budget, so we'll have quite a bit to talk about. And honestly, March was a good month. I got no bad news. We're good. We did enjoy our Redwood training. I think everybody came out of that with some new knowledge. You know, I've heard him talk. I couldn't tell you how many times. You always get something new, and it was nice. We had a more informal setting, so got to ask some direct questions. It was really good. So if we look at March, general fund, our revenue and interest was $593,618.10. That's still where I want to focus more than anything. That and food service. Food services revenue was $61,084.77, and they always lag about a month behind. So that was pretty good coming out of like February, shorter month, different things. So if we look at our book balance, and that is a combination of all our funds, what's in the bank. We're still sitting. We were at the beginning of the month 2.064,344.89. And if we look at our expenditures, general fund spent $651,322.80. So, we were expecting, once tax revenue slowed down, that our general fund expenditures would certainly outpace our revenues. That's the normal flow of things, even unless you're extremely healthy. It's just kind of how things work when you depend on property tax revenue. But the really good news to me here was looking at my projections that I had set several months ago that we keep updating. I expected us to drop $174,000 this month. We dropped $57,000. So we keep, and I haven't updated those. I've stayed pessimistic. We could probably look at them with a little brighter lens because of some changes we've had, but we're just still kind of moving through those. It keeps being good news. That's what we wanted. We kind of wanted to look at a worst case scenario, and then anything better than that's great. Did not want to do the opposite. So we're still on track there. We ended the month with $1,933,698.54 in the bank account, and general fund is still positive right now. So that's also, again, we'll end the year in a deficit again, but it's shaping up to be a much smaller deficit than last year. Department of Education is aware of that. Everyone involved, we've been very clear, and everybody understands that rebuilding all of that in 1 year wasn't feasible, but I think that everybody's been pleasantly surprised that we've made good progress, and we've kind of beat some benchmarks we set for ourselves. And overall, I feel positive about where we're headed. So if we look over at food service, their total revenue was $61,084.77. Their expenses were $69,566.59, so they did outpace by a little over $8,000, and that's fairly normal. Hopefully we see the same thing in reverse next month because of that lag behind. But still keeping an eye on them. They're still in good shape overall. They're really not supposed to carry a big balance or anything, so it's just one of those, since it is a proprietary fund, we have to kind of point it out separately. But yeah, honestly, I every month I kind of show you what we paid at Little Caesars, and that's kind of what we've got on this report. So just some general updates. Compared to last March, We spent $156,510.12 less out of general fund, so that was down a little over 19%. Our revenues were actually up $84,346.83. I don't think there's anything super noteworthy about that because they were down the month before, and a lot of times it's just the timing of when checks come through the mail. Postal Service has been a little slower this year, that sort of thing. But year to date, general fund, like end of March last year compared to end of March this year, we've spent $1,299,536.19 less.
Wow.
So that's a pretty significant number, I think. And I did one last thing. I wanted to mention it. We got this underway in February. And if everybody remembers the ice storm we had in February, you can imagine any snow-related gear was back-ordered significantly. But we talked to Kenny, which is Kentucky Employers Mutual Insurance. They do our workers' compensation insurance. They had an opportunity for a safety grant. They basically asked all their member districts, like, what could we do for you up to $2,500 that would make your employees safer? So we bought a $2,480-some electric salt spreader for the back of our Gator. So that'll be great next winter. I think Charlie's reaction was kind of like, well, where was this in February? But we are excited. I'm very grateful to them for covering that because it's something we've needed. They've been pushing those, those push-behind spreaders like you used for grass seed, and it's not safe for them. It's not efficient. So that was huge. We're very grateful to Kimmy for buying that for us because new equipment has been hard to come by lately. So upcoming, next month, like I mentioned, tentative budgets. We'll be talking a lot about that. And that is one, while the draft budget's just board review, tentative budget does need board approval. And it's an estimate of expenditures, revenues, and it has to have that contingency in there. And something that'll come out next month too, the school report card financial portal will be live by the end of next month. And that's where we see our per pupil spending and how it compares to every other district in the state. That's always delayed quite a bit past the testing data. So this is the normal timeline for that. So by the end of next month, you'll be able to kind of see where we stack up on local funding, federal funding, what our mix is, and how much we spent per kid last school year. So that is all I have. Any questions, anything for me?
Glad to see you so happy.
Thank you.
We do like that. One just sort of general question. Do we have for the per pupil spending and the information that's coming out next month, benchmark districts that we look at, or should we establish those? We should probably kind of pick a few that we feel are comparable. Everybody always wants to compare us to Madison County because location-wise, and we are a very different school district. So I do think that would be a good thing to do, compare ourselves to a couple independents. And then I'll be very interested to see the kind of trend for the last few years too, as we kind of clean up reporting and see. I will say our per pupil spending was more than a lot of large school districts. So we'll kind of see where we land. It's interesting data to dig into, and they give a whole online dashboard where you can kind of pick and choose different things, pick multiple districts, pull it all in. You can definitely spend some time playing with it. It's interesting information. Well, I don't think we have to do all of that next month since we're already going to have a fairly busy meeting. Yep. But maybe for one of those slower months over the summer, that could be something we dig into a little bit.
Yeah, that'd be good summer data. I agree.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, on the side of your mic, if you turn it down. You might have had it too high. Sorry about that.
How we doing it?
Yeah, that's not bad.
Much better. Hey, great.
But also, they were just a little closer to the mics this time.
Yep.
Because they moved up.
And we'll go ahead and move on to attendance and enrollment. Thank you for that.
All right, enrollment
has gone up to 889 from last month. And our attendance rate is above 92% now. We had a lot of great success with our attendance competitions, really helped boost us. That's all I got. Any questions?
Okay. I'm in favor of simple reports. Thank you. Oh, hold on.
I was just going to ask for a brief description of the competition.
Oh, so we just separated all the homerooms and first period teachers into teams, and then we put them in a bracket like March Madness, and we went through that, you know, each week or each certain time period of days, said what their score was, and if they had the better overall attendance over that time period, the week or whatever, then they moved on.
Very creative. Thank you.
I have to thank Dr. Neves for giving me that one.
Thank you, Dr. Newton.
I would steal it normally, but he's right here. I couldn't do it in front of him.
Well, you're setting a good example for citing your sources.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. And we'll move on to the school reports.
Okay, I'll go through this pretty quick. Give you a synopsis. We got our KSA awards last week. We had 107 kids in grades 4, 5, and 6 that we awarded medals to for being proficient or standard, which was really, really impressive. It was a really good day. Give our staff credit, give my teachers credit. It went off really well. Dr. Neves was able to be there. Ms. Caldwell was able to come over. It was just a really super day for our kids. Real quick, I want to bring on my teachers. We started our iReady Spring Diagnostic today for our second graders that will be going on all week. Hopefully we'll wrap that up on Friday. We have made a really big push since February to start looking at data, talking about data, where are we at, how do we get to where we want to be. So we finished our third and fourth grade teachers finished their diagnostic. I want to kind of give you a little synopsis on what that looks like, what that looked like. In reading, the third grade right now, we had 61% of our students show growth from the winter diagnostic to the spring diagnostic. So that's, you know, I said well over half of our kids show significant growth in a small window of time. Since the winter diagnostic, we have 68% of our third grade in reading now are showing proficient distinguished. Now that's going into KSA with 68% based on that. If that holds true, we kind of bump that maybe a couple percentage points. I feel really good about what that's going to look like when testing goes around in a couple of weeks. In math, 81% of our third grade kids, 81% show growth from December to April. And right now, when you look at, we've got basically 82% of our third grade kids are at proficient or distinguished in third grade math. That's, when you think in terms of, we were at 67% at Christmas time, and now we're at 82. That's a huge jump for our kids. And that's hats off to our third grade teachers. They've done a phenomenal job. They really bought into kind of what we were talking about. I can go on our fourth grade. We got 77% of the fourth graders show growth in reading. We had 70% of the fourth graders show growth in math. And again, that's just from the December test to the April test. So right now, 69% of our fourth graders are at proficient or distinguished in math, and 67% are proficient or distinguished in reading. So we've seen some huge gains, some huge jumps. Again, our teachers have done a phenomenal job. If my fifth grade numbers trend in the same direction, my second grade numbers I expect to be the same. I'm optimistic, but I'm carefully optimistic about what our KSA scores look like. We are entering the season of field trips and the season of testing. So as testing starts to roll around, we're also going field trips. I think my 4th grade's going to Boonesboro on Wednesday. Next week, our kindergartners will start their trips. Once testing starts, our kindergartners taking an everyday trip, so it's going to be an exciting time for kindergartners. And it's best for everybody if they are not in the building while testing's going on. So we kind of got that plan in place. We will start our student-led conferences on Thursday, which basically means our parents will come in, our students will sit down with them, and they will be the teacher, and they will talk to their parents and say, this is where I'm at, this is what I've been doing, this is where I was, and they'll show the progress, and show all the things that they've done in an effort to get where they want to be. We have been very mindful of meeting with our students, talking about benchmarks, talking about what that looks like, what does success look like. It's not necessarily an A or a B or a C. There is a benchmark for you to meet. This is that number. And they're actually talking in those terms to us, so it's been pretty refreshing. And really everything's going great. We got our 5th grade kids. We'll be transition meeting with Ms. Caldwell and the middle school. So that will happen on Friday. We've taken our kids over a second period and letting them meet with the teachers. They'll have a concert with the band and the choir to kind of recruit those kids in. Really right now, the main thing for us is we'll do our testing walkthrough on Friday to make sure that our classrooms are in compliance, and everything for us at this point is KSA. We're ready to go. So, any questions? If not, I'm gonna go watch the Mighty Pirates play baseball.
I do have one
Yes, ma'am.
question. I think last time when you were here, you were talking about writing scrimmage. How did that go?
So the big takeaway from that was enlightening is again, remember, we do not have a writing program at this point for our 4th and 5th. So the big takeaway there, when we did our PLCs, once that writing scrimmage was done, is we realized that our kids are good writers from a content standpoint. We have great thoughts. We have phenomenal ideas. The problem is when you start looking at the way we write, our sentence structure, our verb usage, just the rules of grammar have kind of been lost a little bit. Again, the reason why, we all know why, it's a lot easier to do this and it corrects itself for me. Or to do this and it's got spell check and you meant to put a period, didn't you? Check, yes I did. Yeah. So that was the thing that really showed what I did. I took the data from the 5th grade scrimmage, I showed it to every other teacher. I let my 5th grade teachers switch and they looked at this is what their class looks like, this is what these kids look like, and I compared those, where are the gaps, where are the things that we're not touching upon. And then I let every grade level from 2nd on up see that work and basically said to those teachers, okay, 2nd grade, these kids are literally 3 years away from the kids you're teaching right now. Tell me the difference between what you're seeing from 2nd grade compared to what you're seeing from our 5th graders. And because of the fact that they have in fact had a writing curriculum in those younger grades, K1, 2, 3, the writing is not as in-depth content-wise, but from a structure standpoint and from a grammar standpoint, the younger ones are actually a little more well-versed. Again, because they've in fact been exposed to it. So I think that's going to clean itself up. We are going to have a writing curriculum for 4th and 5th going into next year. The work that's already in the works, everything's going to be ready to go for that. I'm really excited about what writing's going to look like in 2 years. Because my kids will have had 2 more years, and they've already had 2 to see what that looks like. So it'll be 4 years of writing, or 3 years of writing walking going into the 5th grade year. I suspect that those numbers, when we take our KSA testing and writing then, will be much, much improved. Okay? Anything else? Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
And we'll move on to the high school report. Good evening.
Good evening. That's loud. Okay, I'll just touch base on some of the highlights. You do have the board report and you also have the important dates. We have a lot going on in April. As Dr. Neve said, we began with our KSA awards. We gave just under 300 medals for proficient and distinguished. That's for middle school 6 through 8, and then also for 10th and 11th grades. They performed very well last year, so we're excited about that. Tomorrow's our final diagnostic, which is diagnostic number 3, and we will be able to look at our math and English and how our students have progressed. That will also be 6 through 12. Of course, middle school will do iReady, and high school will have IXL. Our 8th graders had an amazing time on the 8th grade trip. They went to the Palace Entertainment Center in London, Kentucky this week, and they just had a wonderful time. We were unsure if they were going to be able to even have a trip. Initially, we approved the Nashville, Tennessee trip. We were just unable to raise all of that money with all the busyness going on, but our students had a great time this week. Our senior trip is coming up on April the 25th, and our seniors are excited to do that once again. A big thank you to Natasha Johnson. She has really helped us, stepped up to the plate, and helped us with coordinating the senior trip, and also the prom as well that's coming up on Derby weekend. We have our band and choir concert coming up, so we invite you to come and be a part of that. It's really a nice evening of the arts where we honor all of our students, and generally we will also have some art exhibits set up as well. I'm very proud to say, for the first time in history, our college readiness is officially, as of today, 96.5%. Yes. That is 20% of our accountability on the accountability index. When I arrived here, well, as head principal 3 years ago, we were at 50%. Last year, we went to 82.5, now we're at 96.5. So really excited to see what that looks like on the accountability. Just recently, 26 of our students passed the end of program exam, and that makes them not only college ready, but career ready. Thanks to Mr. Moulton, our CTE coordinator, he really helped us to coordinate all of that as well with the exams. They passed in culinary and food services, mechanical engineering, cinematography, early education, and that gives those students a skill set in hand. So it makes them marketable, it makes them more employable, and it really sets the stage for them going to college and doing whatever they want to do. Of course, in May, we have prom coming up, May the 2nd, and then all things seniors. I will share that final living document with you. We have things going on every single day. Our students seem to be flourishing. Most of all, they're happy. They have relationships. They have support systems, and that's one thing that we've worked very hard this year to try to keep that consistency and to ensure that our students are supported. I think we have the greatest students in the world. I mean, they're really, they're exceptionally talented in the arts. If you didn't come to see Sweeney Todd this weekend, you missed out. It was a really good play. Jesse Jones did a great job leading that play as well. So that was 4 nights of the arts with Sweeney Todd. And that's really about it. Do you have any questions? All right. Thank you all for the support.
Just congratulations, I think, tonight.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. It's all the students. It's all because of them and our faculty and staff. They've worked very hard.
All right, and now we have time for some audience comments, if anybody wants to take the mic for a moment. Yes, ma'am, please step forward.
I'm here speaking for a lot of the senior parents. We just haven't had any communication about when graduation. We know when it is, but we don't know how many people are allowed to be in attendance, because we were told by an email before spring break, and we sent emails. I know I have sent 2, 3, and then some of my other people that have been messaging since I've been here, they've all sent emails. Nobody's responding. We haven't got any word on anything. So we're just trying to get our heads together on where we are at with that.
So I can answer that. An email was sent out on ThrillShare to all senior parents of the location and the date and time. Yeah. I am working with Ellie Hogg. I actually communicated with her today. She needed a final number of faculty and staff that are attending so that we can look at ticketing and how many tickets that the students will get. So we will have that finalized by this week, exactly how many tickets that each student will get. But that was sent out on ThrillShare to all parents for the location, the date, and the time, which will be at Phillips Stokes.
We got that one, but nothing about, we're less than a month away. We don't know how many people we can invite.
Yeah, and it is taking a little bit of time, but she had to have some numbers pulled together in order for us to make an informed decision on how many tickets that we need. So hopefully we will have that exact number for you this week.
Thank you.
All right.
Edwin Tate, I'm a parent. I'm actually speaking today more in capacity as a substitute
something I appreciate, but all the work Mr. Sweet's been doing, saving money. There was talk about, I know I remember a previous meeting, that the food service was one of the major expenses, and you were saying today this is, doing pretty well. I hear from a lot of students, different grade levels, concerns about the milk quality in particular. There have been I know kids will sometimes complain about stuff, right? But I've heard it often enough that I just had a concern listening to this, that wonderful as all the savings are, just wanted to urge the administration to make sure that we're not cutting any corners that would compromise the safety and quality of the food we're feeding the kids.
Thank you for that, and we will take a look.
Has the complaint been that the milk is getting close to being sour?
Yeah, that it was sour or spoiled tasting, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So again, I don't know why that is, and I don't know, I just wanted to bring it to somebody's attention, just sitting here listening to the report about it.
Thank you.
We see a head nodding there. You've had the milk?
I've taken a big swallow of the milk a couple of times, and one time it was almost cottage cheese. So.
Well, it's something we can look into then, for sure. Thank you. One question. Okay. All right, we need to move on to the adoption of the agenda, but tonight we will need a motion to amend. There are two changes that we need to make to the agenda. One, we're going to strike from the consent agenda the high school football team overnight trip. That is no longer necessary. We learned that from our athletics director late this afternoon, so we can remove that. And we also want to add as a consent item the superintendent's expense report. Do I have a motion to adopt the agenda as amended with the superintendent's expense report taking the place of the football trip?
So moved. I second.
All those in favor? Aye. All right, we will move on to the consent items then. And rather than read through all the items, board members, if you've had a chance to review, are we okay with the consent items this evening, or anything we want to pull out for further consideration? All right, do I have a motion to approve the consent items as presented?
I move we approve. Second.
All those in favor? Aye. And that moves us into the business items for this evening. The first item tonight is the auditing contract for the 25-26 year, and it's to approve the proposed contract with the Denise Keene, who gave an excellent presentation last time she was here. The cost is $22,000 and has been requested by Mr. Sweet and recommended by Dr. Neves. Any questions about the contract?
So move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Second item on the agenda, the School Facilities Construction Commission offer of assistance. We've been offered in the amount of $7,416. This must be matched by funds allocated by the board and restricted to Education Technology Fund 2. It's been recommended by Daniel Montoya and recommended by Dr. Neves. Questions about that recommendation?
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Next item up, the Frisk MOA. An agreement to continue the services that have been offered through our Frisk Center for several years. The new contract would run from July 1st, 2026 through June 30th, 2028. Any questions about the motion for that, or the MOA?
Move to approve.
All those in favor? Aye. All right, and the next item, we need to move into closed session for the purpose of discussing the formative assessment of the superintendent. Motion to go into closed session?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. And we'll be right back. So we must now return to regular session. Motion to return?
I move we return.
A second.
All in favor? Aye. Do we have any board member comments this evening?
I just want to say I appreciate the opening of having the young voices and sharing with us what they've been working on. And Ms. Parrish group is a good standard to follow. So that was really a good community setting here. I love it when Nate has good news. It makes the world seem all right.
We're gonna miss you, young man.
We are.
Definitely. You've done an outstanding job, and wherever you go and whoever you work for, they got a good person, I tell you that.
I'll be right up the street, so.
Well,
Yeah. Don't worry, I think one of my, here, I'll talk to this. And
I think I was talking about that. Oh, we should really back check these sometimes. I think one of my priorities when I get up there is, now that Berea community has an inside man, is how can I shuffle what is considered Berea College's unlimited resources down to the place that build me up. So I'm sure that I'll meet some barriers to cross, but I want to give back to this place 100% of what it gave to me. So yeah, if you ever need up there, I know a lot of folks up there that like me a lot, so I'm hoping to bother them too. So.
And will you be reunited with Billy?
Yes, he's actually going to be my direct supervisor. So yeah, it's a full circle.
That's the golden age.
Yeah, full circle. So, but thank you. I want to thank everybody here for the great time, and I'm done talking now. Bye.
When you said Berea's unlimited resources, Chad Berry and Barry Pointer both trembled somehow.
Yeah.
Hearing no further comments, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thanks, everybody.